Howdy folks, Doc here with Last Best Tool. And I did a video the other day about buying used batteries at pawn shops. I picked this one up and I was kind of sharing some of the things that went through my mind. And somebody had mentioned when I had a brief appearance of this battery in that video that they thought it was a counterfeit. Now a counterfeit is different than just an aftermarket replacement. The counterfeit is actually a battery or any tool that is branded to look as much as possible like the original, the real tool, to fool people. And in this case, I wondered. I thought they were, I think, queuing in on the paint, and this was actually, I saw a handful of tools when I ended up getting the tool that had this on it, and somebody had spray painted a bunch of stuff all over the tools, and I think they do that, you know, to mark their own tools or make them less appealing, maybe harder to sell. Maybe people don't want to steal them if they're all messed up. But anyway, so it was spray painted. I did get some of the paint off of it. I did that deliberately. But they were queuing in on, was this red, a red base, or was this black paint on a red base, or was it red paint on a black base? And I started thinking, is this counterfeit? So I took a closer look. So I grabbed another one of my batteries, and I did get this one new. And because I have several with different numbers on them, I wrote them larger on them so I could easily, you know, reach in and grab the battery I wanted. But I looked at it and thought, okay, let's compare. Well, so this is the one that's written on. I know I bought new in a store. So here it is. It has a serial number on the top. They both have the little markings there. This one's got a dimple here. This one's got a dimple here. The top is different. You can see this pops off up here. They both have roughly the same ad there all the way around. Go to the base. Well, here's one difference. The bases are reversed. This one's got a screw in it. This one doesn't. But the information appears to be the same, roughly the same. Processing in China, etc. I thought, wow, I guess maybe I did, but I'd better compare it with some others. This is just one, so I went and got a few others. So there's the one in question, and I had some ones. These are 1.5s. I actually had a few of these around. These have screws, nothing on the top, and I did get these new. So those all match up, these ones, or 1.5s. As you can see, CP 1.5s. I've given away all of the smaller ones. I had them for so long. When I sell a tool or give a tool away, I'd include one of those. So those seemed really similar to this in design all the way around. So that's encouraging. At least this isn't out of complete design specs. So I went and kept going and dug up some twos. So here's a 2, here's a 2, here's a 2, here's a 2. I had to dig all over, pull them off tools. Here's another 2. And it looks like there are two different designs. And I can just glance at them. These two here do not have serial numbers at the top, but they do have the screws at the bottom. However, if you look at this now, here is a 2 and a 2, both CP 2.0 red lithiums, but they are two different designs. I'm guessing that there was a turnover in design. This is just probably at the earlier design. And then I dug up a 3 here, and the 3 has taken over this same design. So this is my newest one, again, brand new from the store. And it has the exact same design. So maybe this is the new design. And this one with the serial number, etc., is the old design of the newer batteries. So anyway, I don't think that there is I don't think it's counterfeit. I just think there's a difference. I watched a bunch of YouTube videos, and depending on which ones you have, I mean, there were people saying, this is the real one, this is the fake one, because of these differences. Well, I don't know if they had enough of the batteries to see and knew where they came from to know whether or not it was a counterfeit or just different, because you do notice differences. Obviously there is a fire risk, something you definitely need to think about, and there are a lot of fires because of these lithium-ion batteries, especially the large capacity ones, but mostly with cheap ones or replaced ones. The cheapest e-bike on the market, yeah, I wouldn't trust it. Or people are leaving them charged for days on end, and apparently the chargers aren't that great. In fact, chargers have become part of the problem. There are replacements. People are going to, well, for example, you've probably heard about the story of a person who was killed when their Olight flashlight, blew up in their mouth. They were under their car, I believe, with this in their mouth, and they were looking. And there was a court case against Olight, and it was dismissed because it was not the flashlight's fault. It was that the owner of the flashlight went to, I believe, a Batteries Plus store and bought 2 Nuon, N-U-O-N brand batteries. They were in kind of this CR123 form factor, and was using those inside his Olight flashlight. And the flashlight he had, I believe, was the T2. It was a tactical 380 lumen flashlight. And I don't think, I guess I don't think it was Olight's fault at all, because the batteries are what blew up. They blew up inside a flashlight that was not designed for those knockoff batteries or those replacements, except sometimes it's indicated that you can use other batteries. So, but anyway, it was dismissed. It was not an Olight fail. Now, this reminds me of something. If anyone's read the book, or you can't see the movie because they haven't made one, but I really wish they would. Michael Crichton wrote a book called Airframe. Crichton's the one who wrote Jurassic Park. And in it, there's a scene, basically it's about a big airplane manufacturer, read Boeing, but anyway, I think it was called Norton, and there was a airplane engine, or a jet engine, that exploded, and I believe, I don't remember if it was on the runway or in the air, but anyway, the plane landed, but everyone was blaming Norton Aircraft, aka Boeing, because this engine blew up, and the engineers were like, well, look, our plane landed safely, or nobody got hurt if it was on the runway, that it was all protected, even though an engine exploded. But Boeing, or Norton in this case, doesn't make engines. They don't make engines, which means if there's an engine that explodes, it's not the fault of the aircraft manufacturer. And in fact, the aircraft, according to the book, the aircraft owner, the one whoever buys it, gets to spec what engines they want. They could get a GE engine or a Rolls-Royce engine or whatever. So I guess you buy a product, and that product has been designed and tested for the components that are in it. And we see this all the time with vehicles. But anyway, in batteries, I start to wonder, as long as we're inside this circle, I think we are quite safe. The moment we start doing things differently, it's either tampering with the product or buying second or offhand brands to run in them, and there are tons of them, and they are cheaper. And when you look at some of the prices, maybe you could blame the company and say you're charging a premium, which is causing a lot of people to go in different directions than staying with original or the OEM stuff, original equipment manufacturers. So I think that there's some blame to go around, but I also stick only with, as much as possible, the top brands and the OEM brands. So if I need to swap something out, I don't go to Batteries Plus. Not that there's anything wrong with them. They probably could order those too or sell them. But there's cheap options. So it's maybe up to us not to use those. But anyway, I really think the sharp-eyed commenter who brought that to my attention, because I really hadn't spent much time thinking that these might be counterfeit batteries at the pawn shop. I think there's a lot of other stuff that's all counterfeit. Every time I see like a Benchmade Infidel or something, it's like, prove it. But in this case, I think that's a real battery, and it just kind of got me down that rabbit hole of looking at all of the different variations of essentially the same kinds of battery, the same style in the M12. Let me know your thoughts. Let me know your experiences. And with that, Doc out.